Welcome back to Crypt Signs by Twitch. I am Twitch. I might be a little bit loopy right now because I've just finished one job, moved that out of the way and started another one. So, today we have the Kmart challenge. This is an Australian challenge. Don't think they'd be able to do it anywhere else because all I keep hearing is that Kmart shut down over in the States, so only here in Australia. This challenge is hosted by Diane over at Poshupcycle. If you haven't already, go check out her channel. The link for her channel will be in the description. The goal for this challenge is to flip a piece of furniture using Kmart stuff from Kmart. So this is the piece I'm working on. It's a very short piece. It's very deceptive. It looks cute and looks like it'd be nice. It's, I think, apart from the drawer fronts and the frame, it's made entirely of particle board. But my delivery guy and his lovely wife gave it to me for free. They saw it on Marketplace and were like, Twitch would love that. And they went and got it for me and dropped it off, and they are awesome people. I am forever grateful. I'm going to try and smash this out because I have so many other things to do. It just keeps piling up. I do it to myself. This might be a little bit slapdash, and if it turns out bad or not to a quality that I'd be happy to sell to someone, it will be going home to our place for us to use because a lot of our furniture is falling apart. So, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I did was go to Kmart to go shopping, and I decided to try and do that thing where people feel themselves walking through the shops buying things, and all I had going through my head was the song "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious." And yeah. And after all of that not being suspicious, I forgot to pay for glue sticks. So as always, the first thing I'm doing is removing anything that's not being kept, and whenever I take one of these handles out, I'm just putting a piece of tape over the top lip of the drawer so that I can easily pull it out again. And then once I've got all these bits of tape in place, I just go back and fold that piece under and onto itself so that it doesn't get stuck to the drawer front. And this is the kind of thing that I was not looking forward to seeing. I'm going to try and fix that. So to try and fix this problem, I put some wood glue in a cup, added some water, gave it a stir, and then brushed it in as much as I could to the Weet-Bix. Then I got some very suspicious looking wood putty and added some of that same mix to it to soften it and make it more pliable. Yep. Here we go, being suspicious again. And just like with the glue and water mix, I'm kind of just brushing it in and trying to get it as much as I can into all the fibers and under it, and yeah, it's good enough. I didn't even touch it again after that. I won't be using these existing knob holes, so I am just filling them up with some putty. While that dries, I'm off to go get some food. Just in case you didn't already know I'm an Aussie, here we have our palmy pack. Nice. now that I am full as a goog, I am using my Prepmate 2 Orbital sander to sand all the edges down, just to try and remove some of that paint and hopefully make them slide in and out easier. The paint on the front of the drawers and everywhere else obviously is rough as guts and looks all dimply like orange skin, so I'm also sanding that smooth before I prime it. By this point I decided to also do a two-tone effect on the drawer fronts. So just the top, so I've just gone halfway. This will get covered up where the existing holes were. But I wanted a bit of wood on show, and the top is going to get painted because it's not hardwood. And by this point I've also decided that I'm definitely not going to sell it because I'm not going to be 100% happy, and the insides of the drawers are a mess, and I wouldn't be happy to sell this to someone and put my name on it. So, and rather than paying to have it taken home to our place, it's going to stay here. It's got wheels on it, that's how it came, so I'm going to leave the wheels on it and use it as workshop storage that I can also use as kind of a workbench. And if it gets in the way, I'll just wheel it out to the carport when I'm not using it, or if I need the space. So it'll be storage for, like, you know, things like that and things like that, all the crap that just clutters up all over the place. Fabric, wooden spoons, stuff, you know, stuff. Anyway, let's go. So rather than measuring new holes and stuffing around and all of that jazz, I decided to use the pre-existing double holes to re-drill those and make them big enough for the rope to go through. So I ended up going up gradually through the drill bits until I ended up using a 12mm spade bit to make the holes big enough. Using Millie Suffuse paint in the colour Little Lamb and a plastic scraper. So what I'm doing here is just painting it onto the exposed wood and then using the scraper to just scrape it back to get a kind of rustic effect on it. As much as I love this effect, it looks better with the white here than it does with the look that the colour that I end up going with. So I do eventually go over this, but it's still a cool effect. Using Millie Boutique Primer and Adhesive Bond to prime all the sections that I'm going to be painting. This stuff is absolutely amazing, it will stick to anything, and I absolutely swear by it. These are all primed. I'm not concerned about how the sides look or anything like that because, like I've said, I'm keeping this for my workshop. So I'm just trying to get this done for the video. And that is all primed. I didn't prime the sides because I'll be doing something else there. But yeah, this is where we're at so far. Alright, so I want to go for a really soft pink for this. So I'm going to do a custom mix of penny and sea spray. So I'm going to try and go for a 50-50 mix of this so that it makes it easier for anyone else who wants to have a go at it. I'm going to paint up a couple of spoons so that you can see the difference. Right, these are only partially dry, but we have penny, sea spray, and then a 50-50 mix of the two, which has given me the soft pink that I want. I don't like it. So I didn't like it, and I really couldn't just leave it like it was. The difference in wood tones was just too different, and I didn't like it at all. It wasn't the look I was going for. So I've retaped all my lines, and I'm just going to be painting over those parts with Little Lamb. Oh yeah, that seems better. Right, so now I'm using this wallpaper, and luckily for me it is a self-adhesive wallpaper, so I don't even have to glue it on, so happy chappy. So I started by cutting it to length. I cut it a bit longer than what I needed, for obvious reasons. Peeled one of the corners back, and I lined it up about 2mm in from that edge, that vertical edge, because I didn't want it right on the edge, and I didn't want it like accidentally overlapping or like hanging over the edge or being messy. But once I put it on, I had a look at it and realized how transparent this wallpaper is, and took it off and painted the sides. Once that was well and truly dry, I got back to it. So once again, peeling that corner back and starting by sticking that side down to line it up with that edge to make sure it was going to run straight down that edge. Again, 2mm in from the edge. You don't have to do it that way, but that's what I'm doing. So the way I do it is quite simple, and I think it's the way a lot of people do it, and I'll just use my hand to flatten it down. You don't want to push too hard because that's how you end up stretching things, and just kind of run your hand over it, and I start from the middle and work my way out towards the edges and just keep taking the backing off as you move it down. Once I get down to the bottom, I grab my knife and trim the end off, and then I was going to cut the excess off the back of it, and I was like, stuff it, I'll just fold it back, should be right. Now comes the chunky rope. So these are going to be our handles, and first off I am lining it up, roughly working out what kind of length I need. Rather than, before you go cutting it with scissors or a knife or whatever, you want to wrap some tape around where you're going to be cutting it, and it'll stop it from unraveling when you cut it. Once I had all my pieces cut, I grabbed an extra bit of tape and wrapped some more tape around the ends just to give it a bit of length and a bit more of a point. Made it easier to put it through, poke it through the hole, and to grab it from the other side to pull it through. Once that's done, I take the drawer out, cut all the tape off and get it all out of the way. I was planning on using just the hot glue gun, but for the sake of time and me wanting to get home at this point, I just grabbed my staple gun and quickly stapled them down, and then I'll come back in later and chuck some hot glue on it just for, you know, a bit more strength. Quick reminder of how she looked before. And here she is. I have to say, I'm pretty sad that I won't be, selling this piece, because I think it would sell pretty fast. I gotta admit, it's not really my style, but I absolutely love it and am really happy with it. I think I will take this style and colouring and everything and put it onto another set of drawers or something like this, and actually sell it, like do a much better, higher quality version of this. But super happy with how it's turned out. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to check the description for products and items used. Hit the subscribe button, buy me a coffee if you want. I also have an Amazon wish list. Thank you to Diane from Poshupcycle for hosting this challenge. Don't forget to go and watch the full playlist. There is some amazing talent out there, and thank you for your support, and see you next time. Took all the staging photos and forgot to add this little guy. No, not there. There. Ta-da!